Pretty early on when we found out Austin was deaf, we decided that we wanted to learn sign language. We got a lot of education about, we received a lot of education about cochlear implants and found out that Austin was a good candidate for that. And he does have bilateral cochlear implants. But we started doing sign language for our family and for him even before he got his cochlear implants. And we are very glad because we thought even with his cochlear implants we might be someplace and a battery could go dead or who knows what could fail with that. We didn't want him to be without communication at that point. Fast forward a few months later after his cochlear implants, which were very successful, he hears very, very well. They exceeded my expectations, but because of some other physical issues that he has unrelated to being deaf, he can't speak. So he does rely on sign. And for that reason, we're very, very grateful we chose to sign because otherwise we would have lost a year of language until we found that out. And he, you know, at school, all the different standardized testings and whatnot, he gets it orally and he gets it signed and then he gets it both. And he always performs well typically when he gets it both signing and orally. So the sign absolutely does help him. I would tell you my wife is an incredible signer and has picked it up very, very well. I struggle. I still do a lot of classes in the evenings and other immersion classes, and it's just not coming as well for me. I don't know if I'm not as smart or what the deal is, but I worry a lot about that because communicating with especially teenagers is tough anyway, and I want to make sure that he and I don't have that added barrier. And so I'm trying to improve those skills. When his mom and I are in the same room and he'll look to her and sign to her, ask dad whatever the question is, that breaks my heart. And it's not because he's being rude to me or otherwise, but he is an incredibly fast signer. You know, he'll be 7 this week and he finger spells faster than I can keep up with him. So he does it just out of a speed thing because patience is not one of his strengths. But luckily his mom says, you know, your dad's right there, you sign with him. So I can do it. I'm just very slow and he has to slow down for me and that's a challenge. But I as a dad don't want to give any more excuses for why when he's older we have a communication barrier. And I want to be able to have dad, son talks with him like I do with my other boys. So I continue to work very hard to work on my signing and it'll come little by little.
The other school, we moved, and the principal had a completely different ideology than the other one. And you could see, and she gave us the teacher who had the most experience for the last 15 years with kids in special education. And this is the teacher that just looked at us and told us he does not belong here. And every time we had a parent-teacher conference, she would remind us, he does not belong here. And we just felt like, what does experience really mean? Nothing. It's what a person has, you know, in their heart. If you're willing to work and try and just have high expectations and don't give up, that's the most important thing in a teacher than the experience. And there might be other teachers with a lot of experience who use it in a different way. But that's my personal experience with a very experienced person in special education. So I always tell parents, they say, I want a teacher who's had a kid with special education before I want, and I tell them, that's not always the right choice. Let them try. If they're willing to work with your child and try everything to make him succeed, that's what counts.